We went to Disneyland, and it was during Christmas. And you know how like Disneyland gets really, really busy around Christmas, and we're like staying right in front of the castle.
It was magical.
And there's this huge crowd of people around us, and he gets down on one hand and one knee and like proposes to me, and everybody starts clapping.
And they're like,
and
say
cheering,
yes, say yes.
Say yes, say yes, and congratulating us. And it was so embarrassing. I'm like, oh, we're already married.
I just wanted to reignite that moment. That's kind of funny, but everybody does that at Disneyland. What makes it really funny is when you do it like at Walmart. That's like the best one to do. So if you're like in between,
isn't that funny?
like
to
the
me,
old. We were in college when we met, and so, college is teeming with people who are, on the hunt for their significant others. So you got to be. Most people do something to stand out, and I was actually like really the opposite. I kind of wanted to steer clear of like the social scene in college, so I was over it. And I remember being in one of the chapels that we had one time, and I like honed in on Fallon, and she was worshiping, and it was sick, and I was just super amped on that. And so I wanted to get to know that girl. She was the girl that was across the room, and I wanted to get to know her. Somebody asked me a really cool question. They said, could you ever imagine your life without that person? And just the quality time that we had spent together,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to spend another day doing the adventures that I knew the Lord had kind of set out for us to do, or set out for me to do, without Fallon. So she's the one. I picked her. I put a rock on that finger. I told all the other guys, back off. Said, this one's taken.
One of the greatest pieces of advice that was given to us when we first got married was live a life trying to just outserve each other in all aspects of your life. And so I think that serving for us, it doesn't necessarily mean within the church or within a ministry, but it really means incorporating the servanthood in your marriage.
Or like in your life.
And in your life, like with your friends and your spouse
Mm-hmm.
and your family. And so I think for us, we've built into our relationship just a life of just trying to outserve each other. And so that flows into our ministry and into our family. And we had gotten the opportunity to move overseas and live in southern Germany and work with military students. And we had jobs here, and we were living in Southern California, and a lot of people told us that we were crazy for leaving San Diego.
Yeah, like forget crazy. It was like they were like, you're stupid.
You're dumb, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like, nobody leaves here, and you're newlyweds, and that's probably not the wisest thing.
That's like the hardest thing to put your
Right.
marriage through.
And we just knew that God was calling us to do that, and so we packed up all of our little tiny apartment.
All 16 things we owned.
We were pretty much poor, and moved it into like this little storage unit, and moved to southern Germany and did ministry there. And I felt like that was so rewarding because it was the two of us. We were really out of our element. God taught us so much, not just about our relationship and being newlyweds, but about serving together and working in just really an unfamiliar space. And I love and that's just one instance, but I love serving together in places where we're just out of our comfort zone.
It's where there's
God to work.
Margin of the unknown.
Yeah.
That's probably an easier way to put it.
Absolutely.
I mean, you put it so well, but I'm just going to...
Oh, thanks, man.
It's not having all the variables accounted for, and then together just allowing God to fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
That's super rewarding.